I'm Patrick Watson, I'm an astrologer, and you're watching Big Fat Astrovlog. And today I'm going to be delivering a monthly horoscope for all Taurus risings out there for the month of September 2018 in 5 minutes. So the first thing we should talk about is on September 3rd, this is when Venus is entering its pre-retrograde shadow period. So this is basically the beginning of the festivities coming up next month with Venus retrograde. Basically what you should start looking out for on this day is, if you come into connections with new people, especially people you may not expect to have a particularly important relationship with, or maybe you might, this is kind of going to be the beginning of it. This is kind of where things are going to be, the stage is being set for the retrograde period. Now, if you're already in a relationship, this may be when, the topics that the bump in the road of the retrograde may kind of present themselves in some sort of small way. So just start looking for those early signs of what the Venus retrograde will be like in October and November. If we jump ahead a couple days after that, on September 6th, we see that Saturn stations direct. Saturn stationing direct in your 9th house as a Taurus rising. The 9th house, of course, is about your political ideals, your religious ideals, has to do with your education, knowledge, has these notions of foreigners, foreign places, all of that kind of stuff. So with Saturn stationing direct in the sign, this would be kind of like when your cherished ideals may undergo Saturn kind of likes to say no, especially the direct station, where it's like stopping in the sky and saying like no further. So it's almost like you have this cherished idea of something you want to do, or something you kind of believe in, and this is when it receives a harsh reality check. Or religious ideals undergo like a serious amount of scrutiny, or your that's kind of the idea of Saturn in the 9th. Like, this is kind of when you may be more intellectually or philosophically rigid and inflexible, or more driven by fear, since that's sort of the nature of Saturn. So, if we go ahead to September 9th, we can see there's a new moon opposite Neptune. In general, this will be a time where appearances can be deceiving, because we can see that this sun-moon conjunction is opposite Neptune, the planet of fantasy and illusions and deceptions and unreality. So just be aware that, things in this time, even if they appear to be very factual, logical, and fact-based, since it's in Virgo, may actually, be unduly influenced by, one's wishes or projections. So things aren't always as they appear. So that's going to be kind of the theme of those 2 weeks from that September 9th period, September 9th date, when the sun and moon are conjunct. The next couple of days after that, we'll notice that Venus goes into Scorpio and it squares Mars, which squares Uranus. So we have this tense T-square formation between Venus, Mars, and Uranus. And for you, this will be happening across your 1st house, your 7th house, and your 10th house. So it's almost something like, new connections made at work, can cause you trouble or rather, it doesn't have to be at work, but trouble, I suppose it would be. It would be something like new connections can cause you trouble to your reputation or your career in a way that is very destabilizing to your overall life. Like, that's kind of how I would interpret that across these houses with Taurus rising. So that's around September 11th, September 10th, that all 3 of those planets are in the fixed signs. And then finally, on September 24th, we have the full moon. It's earlier rather. Yeah, so with the sun opposite the moon, we have a full moon at 2 Aries, which you can see is exactly square that Saturn in the 9th. So this might be another key time when, those sort of Saturn themes I mentioned earlier will kind of come up. This is a full moon which is really highlighting and being challenged by that Saturn. So it'll be kind of a more depressing or morose one in general, but for you specifically, it will be kind of illuminating or, receptive of this kind of judgment that Saturn has rendered in the area of travel, college, religion, politics, law, foreign places, that kind of thing. However, that Saturn transit is manifesting for you. So that is what to expect in general from the month of September 2018. If you want to see more horoscopes like this, you want to keep seeing your rising sign horoscope next month, just make sure you support me on Patreon, and I will make sure it keeps coming. Leave a comment, like the video, share the video with your fellow astrologer friends, and subscribe. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye.